Today we're going to be taking our first look at the new Dewalt DCF860, the flagship quarter-inch impact driver from Dewalt. But we do have some issues and we're about to show them to you.
Came out of the box like that. Okay, so what we have today is a new Dewalt DCF860. This is their newest, greatest flagship impact driver. It's a quarter-inch impact driver. Been waiting for this for quite a bit. I know a lot of people couldn't wait. Actually went on AliExpress and bought one on there and probably instantly regretted it. Regardless of that, this finally showed up. I was actually able to order it from Acme Tools, and I didn't just order the bare tool, as you can see here. Actually got it with the 8 amp hour battery that just came out as well, because I really wanted to give this a go and see what we're offering now with this new battery. And there's a lot to talk about that, but we'll wait until we get a little further along. So let's start with this guy. Our initial impressions with it are as seen here. We have now push buttons here on the bottom where you have a power 1, 2, 3 mode, and on top of that you actually have a light mode which allows you to illuminate for up to 20 minutes, which is pretty nice. And on the front you actually have 3 different lights or LEDs here that you can use, and they're much brighter than the standard of what you would normally see on the Milwaukee or Flex or any other tool brand for that matter. This costs a lot more than anything else on the market right now, and I'm kind of concerned about that just because I don't think its specs really call for it, especially when you have companies like Harbor Freight coming out with their Hercules line that kind of starts to match this and offers a better warranty. Its specs are pretty much on task with Milwaukee. You got 0 to 4,500 impacts per minute on its top mode and up to 3,800 RPM. The difference though is that this one's not only heavier, it's bigger. Don't know if that's going to be how big of a deal it is for most people, but for someone who uses these on a regular basis, bigger is not better. It gets heavy and cumbersome, especially when you're working over your top of your head. Fit and finish was a little concerning. As you can see here on the back, it came out of the box like that. The box wasn't damaged. The seal, it's a 2-piece design, so they take the 2 sides and they put them together and use screws to hold the casing together and clips. And right out of the box, this is not sealed properly, and there's like no way to press that back together. It's not like clipping or anything. These new ones are made in Mexico, so they did kind of stop building in the United States for the most part. I really did appreciate when they did that. I liked that they were manufacturing in the United States, but that has kind of gone away, so that's a little bit frustrating. Overall fit and finish, other than that, it's pretty annoying. The feel is good. It feels nice in the hand, holds nicely, and there's some weirdness in the casing. There's like a sharp area here on the side, and as much as like if I slide my hand, I feel like it can almost like scrape my hand. I don't have that on my other drills. I'm actually going to pop some other drills out so you can take a look, but you know, that's the first thing I do is kind of rub my hands around it and see is there something that catches my hand or it will, you know, scratch me. Obviously once you start beating the crap out of these, it doesn't really matter, but for a drill that currently is coming out at $200, I don't think that the fit and finish should be lacking in any way whatsoever. So that's basic design, what we have on here. With the 8 amp hour battery, it's kind of massive. So as you can see, it's a big drill with that battery on it, and it's pretty hefty. So let's just do a quickie here. I want to take a look and see what we're looking at with the battery on it as compared to the other batteries. I brought in a multitude of other batteries here. So I'm going to bring out my little scale here. Okay, zeroed out. Okay, with the drill and the battery, it's 4 pounds 9 ounces, so just over 4.5 pounds. It's pretty heavy. Let's take that battery off just to go without. Let's see, without. So 2.7. So the battery itself is about 2 pounds. It's a 2-pound battery. That's pretty hefty. So let's see. This is kind of what has been replaced. It's a 5 amp hour battery. And yeah, let's see, it's 3.1. So, or sorry, 3 pounds, 13 ounces. It's still considerably lighter with this smaller pack. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that pack. See the power stack. 5 amp hour. See what that looks like. 4.1. That's only slightly heavier than our 5 amp hour battery. And we have our flexible. This is a 6 amp hour. Same thing. Drop that on there. Makes it very big. Still going with a wide cell. This is a 4 amp hour. This is a wide cell battery. I think it's a 21700s. This is 3 pounds 10 ounces. Not terrible. So take that off. And then this is probably what most people would want to probably use this with, that they're using on a regular basis. This has already got some damage on it, but that's good. 3.2. So it's the lightest of them all, and I find using these and just swapping batteries more often way more useful, especially just on the use of your hands and just not being so damn heavy. Especially like I was working on a job just recently, working over the top of my head, and yeah, without this it would have been a freaking nightmare, because you're just I had a lot of self-capping screws and just made it really difficult. So once again, we'll just weigh the battery by itself. We're looking at 2.2 pounds. That's rough. I mean, this isn't the end of the world or anything. It's going to have good run time and everything else, but it's just weight-wise that is some considerable heft it has there. These two are now the go-tos. You have your power stacks. This one's 1.1 or 1 pound 10 ounces. So I mean, there's not a huge difference in weight between these two. Their size, they're kind of the same footprint, as you can see, with the exception of the 8 amp hour battery being a taller of the two, obviously because the extra capacity. These are patch cell batteries, or power cell batteries, so they have packs inside there that are basically laminated together, versus this, it still uses cylindrical lithium ion batteries, but they call it tablets. I haven't looked enough into this to talk about it too much, but there is definitely something going on with that. I do like the new pack design. It does have a rubberized bottom, which is pretty nice. Makes it much easier to work with and not get beat up so bad like these 5 amp hour batteries, which are hard plastic on the bottom. But you know, it kind of made me realize, like when I first saw this, because it has kind of a lifted bottom here, they kind of, I don't know, to me there's something cool they could have done here, because that's an open area. When you're working with these tools and you set them down, a lot of times you can't see where the damn where you put it, especially if you're working where it's dark. What would be probably an easy feature to add to these batteries is when the tool gets set down to have some kind of like sensor or whatever, there's enough room to put like a little LED on the bottom, kind of light up the bottom of the battery so you can see where the dang tool is when you set it down. It only has to come on a little bit, or you know, you could time it out and be timed with your like LEDs in the front. But I think that would be kind of a cool option. It'd be different than anybody else, but to set it down and have it light up your area, or you could even have like a sensor to where you set it down, that little light. And I mean, that's not going to kill your battery per se. You know, they could time it at 20 minutes, and if they put even like a 5 lumen light in there, that'd be awesome. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold it about right here, put it forward. Looking at 90 decibels forward, 91 decibels in reverse. It's a little loud. I mean, if we're talking about how far away the tool will be away from your head, probably about this far. Once again, let's try it again. So about 86, looks like. It's a little on the loud side. So 88. So, I mean, normally you're gonna have ear protection anyways when you're using an impact like this, because they're pretty loud. So it's not the end of the world, but it is a little loud. So let's start kind of taking a look at this device against other ones, like its competition. Hold on one second. Okay, now what we have here is our Milwaukee. Again, it's kind of staying up here against this Dewalt. I'm going to take the 8 amp hour battery off of this because we have the 6 amp hour Forge battery here. I'm going to put the 5 amp hour pack cell battery here. Similar technology between these two. I think this is more what they were shooting at as far as matching these sizes up. So if you look, they're kind of similar. Let's get this on the merry-go-round here. Okay, so if you look at these guys like this, they're pretty much on par. I hadn't done this. I haven't actually put it on this one yet. And yeah, it looks like they did their homework a little bit here because they're trying to match these two up. Now, what we talked about is them being, not the same size. There was another thing that really bothered me, and that was the protection of the motor, like especially like on the edge here. If you look, this screw, if it hits that angle, you drop that from a high enough distance, will probably crack your casing. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say the Milwaukee's much better because it has the same thing going, but it's more rubberized around here. I think it'd take a impact a little bit better on that because this one is hard nylon plastic on the corner here, and I think that they would have been better off kind of protecting that edge, but they did not. So that's a little bit frustrating. All right. So, anyways, let's just since these two seem very close in size, and I know that obviously there's an amp hour difference between these two guys. I think I want to see weight-wise what we're looking at, just to kind of put that in perspective. So we're going to slide our scale here again. Okay, we're zeroed out. All right, let's do this again. Looking at 4 pounds, 1 ounce. Take that off. Milwaukee, 4 pounds, 5 ounces. Interesting. So I know obviously this is a slightly bigger pack, but it's kind of odd because holding these in the hand, and I've held them both and I've already kind of done some work with them. This one feels heavier, but even though this one technically is a little heavier. I'm going to come back obviously later with some more hands-on. This is just kind of going over the basic differences between the two. I mean, to put it in more perspective, we also have the Flex, which there's a lot I like about the Flex. I do like the quick release. I don't like how it goes in because the other ones you can just slide this in, and this kind of defeats the purpose because now you have to push this to release it. It's kind of dumb. But anyways, same thing. They have protection here that's rubberized right around where the screw goes. I prefer that because I think that, like I said, you drop this tool, it hits there, it's going to cause some damage. Now, pack cell batteries, you can see like the difference here with these guys. The pack cell on the Flex is considerably bigger. I mean, overall, the Flex is bigger, and this really is designed to work with gloves. I was working on a job a while back, and I literally calloused the inside of my hand because the grip is so aggressive on this. It's not the worst, but it definitely is much more aggressive. This angle right here is a little bit tight too, so it feels like it does over time kind of hurt your hand a little bit. So I don't dislike this tool, but that part is kind of frustrating. So let's put that big monster on there, and wow, 5.1 pounds with the 6 amp hour flex volt. Now, I typically wouldn't use it with this one. I would actually use this, and I don't understand why the other manufacturers haven't done this yet. But a 3.5 amp hour flex volt battery on this thing is actually pretty dang nice. It's like the right size and everything. So but we're still heavy, 4.6 pounds. It's funny because, you know, you hold them and like, I don't know if it just throws you off by the size of the tool, but this doesn't feel like this right now. It doesn't, but when I'm using them, this one just felt heavier than the rest, and I don't know, it's just how it holds in the hand, but yeah, it's just a little bit frustrating. Anyways, back to what we were kind of talking about. I do want to really quickly get some sound offs on this and see what we're looking at sound wise on the Milwaukee. Okay, just as a comparison. Obviously I won't do the Flex because the Flex is louder. There's no doubt that the Flex is louder. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing again. Okay. It's almost 100 decibels that close. We'll pull away. This is, like I said, it's about the distance from your ear. Interesting. So, like I said, it's really weird. Once you pull these tools out and you actually do these tests, you start to notice things that didn't seem like they were a thing. Maybe, I don't know if it's you're in that open and it's different, but check this out. 92, 94. Okay, not moving much. I know it's a frequency thing as well. But I did get it to be quieter than the Milwaukee. Even though the issue is this, I think this is what it is. Because if you listen to that, it's higher pitched, and for my line of work, I actually work on film and movies, and there's a tendency of people looking at images and thinking one's better than another based on how much contrast there is. Well, I think audio kind of works the same here. When you have audio of different pitches, it has a tendency to make you think one's louder than the other when it really isn't. Also, just a side note on this Flex. This has been a pet peeve since this damn thing came out. Now, like I said, I want competition, so I want other tool makers to build tools. But why is there a delay in the trigger? See that delay? A half-second delay. Instant. I do like that there's almost like a... See how the wind down too is different. See, there's kind of a... comes down. Stops. That is interesting. Let's see here. Same thing. These two have a tendency of kind of having a wind down after you release the trigger. Dewalt, there's no delay. That's interesting. It's just either going or not going. I wonder if there's something with the new motor technology that they're doing to get it to basically self-brake itself. Anyways, like I said, there's 3 modes on this. There isn't an auto stop, which I thought was kind of interesting. Auto stop's actually really helpful for a lot of things, especially when you don't want to brute force them. I know that we have a number 1 mode, and that should stop most things. But I'm telling you, after using the impacts and stuff, an auto stop would have been kind of nice. Now, if I want to trade that for a light, I'd actually probably take the light. Let's see. So just to show you like how bright that light is, it is very bright as compared to this guy. Now, the difference though, as you can probably see right off the bat, is you have more of a true white coming off of this, and the light coming off this is more blue. I'm sorry, but even though this is not a bright and it doesn't have that choice, this is much more pleasing on the eye. Just is. The selectors, the plastics that are used on the Milwaukee are also nicer. I'm sorry, they just are. These just feel a little bit cheaper. It's, you know, there's not trying to knock them. So overall, you know, I just want to give you kind of a lot to digest there. I'm going to do some actual testing where we're actually doing work, but this was just kind of a start to kind of get you a first look at this. And like I said, I know that they're adjusting how the triggers fit and how your hand fits. You can kind of see where I feel like that's a problem. You see what's happening here, how your hand fits. There's this weird little bulge down here to push your hand kind of down. I don't understand that. I mean, your hand should be tucked up as high up as possible to kind of square off against the top of the motor when you're pressing or driving screws or whatever into material. So that aspect's kind of frustrating. Anyways, I know I haven't seen enough videos on this. Dewalt, what the hell is going on with this fit and finish? Like I said, you're charging $200 for a tool, and that's just unacceptable. To put it in perspective, same thing, 2-piece design, see, nothing, it's tight. You know, same thing, we have another 2-piece design split in the middle, nothing. See how tight that is? Everything on this, it feels high quality and like solid. And for whatever reason, I don't know if they had a rush to get manufacturing going. What the heck is that? Come on. You know, it's like, honestly, that should not have gotten out of the factory like that. I mean, nobody noticed that? They didn't put it in their hand? I'm not even pressing, see? I'm not squeezing it, I'm just barely touching it. Anyways, get that fixed. I mean, come on. Anyways, I'll follow up. I want to make more videos. This is just a start. I've had not a lot of time to make videos. Life's been pretty busy, but I wanted to get something out here and hope you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe for more.